Here are the 10 reasons why your dog licks you. And some are disgusting. Reason 1. They think you're their salt lick. Dogs love the taste of salt, and your skin is a delightful salty buffet to them. It's like a never-ending free sample station at Costco, but without the weird looks from the employees. When you sweat, your body produces a savory seasoning that your dog can't resist. To them, it's like you're a human pretzel, and they're just trying to get their fill. Dogs might be secretly part goat. Just like goats love to lick rocks for minerals, your dog sees you as their personal Himalayan salt lamp. Shiny and delicious. It's not just sweat they're after. Every time you shed dead skin cells, it's like sprinkling some Parmesan cheese on a pizza. Irresistible. Ever notice how they lick you more after a workout? Your dog probably thinks you've been rolling in a barrel of potato chips, and they're here to help clean up. How thoughtful. If you've ever accidentally spilled food on yourself and didn't notice, congratulations, you've just become a walking dog treat. Your dog's just trying to save you from social embarrassment. Salt is essential for life, and your dog is simply ensuring they get their daily dose straight from the source. Who needs a salt shaker when they've got you? Dogs also sweat through their paws, so this might be their way of bonding over a shared love of salty goodness. It's like a secret handshake, but way more disgusting. If you're ever lost in the wilderness, just remember, your dog will know exactly where to find the nearest salty human. They've been training for this their whole life. Finally, dogs may have developed a taste for human salt through generations of evolution. Ancient wolves probably licked their humans too, and the habit just stuck. Thanks, ancestors. Reason 2. They're trying to groom you. Dogs are pack animals, and in the wild, grooming is a sign of affection. But instead of giving you a nice comb through, they prefer to slime you with their tongue. Nothing says, "I care," like a slobbery wet lick. Your dog sees you as part of their pack, and they're just trying to keep you clean. Unfortunately, their idea of clean involves licking, which is about as effective as using a mop on a grease fire. If you've got an itch you can't scratch, your dog's here to help. With their sandpaper tongue, they'll take care of that pesky spot in no time, even if you didn't ask them to. In their doggy minds, they're giving you a spa day. It's like a facial, but with more drool and less relaxation. Ever wonder why dogs go straight for your face? They're just trying to wash it for you. Too bad they don't know how to use a washcloth. Dogs groom themselves by licking, so naturally, they assume you need the same treatment. It's a bit like that friend who insists on fixing your hair even though you're fine with it as is. If you've been out in nature, your dog's licks might be their way of removing dirt and grime. Think of them as your personal, albeit less effective, wet wipe. Your dog might also be trying to get rid of any other animal scents on you. They're marking their territory, ensuring no other dogs get any ideas about stealing you away. It's possible your dog thinks you're a big, weird dog who needs help with grooming. They're just being a good friend, even if their method is a bit unorthodox. Lastly, your dog might just enjoy the taste of your shampoo or lotion. To them, you're a deliciously scented chew toy that they're determined to keep clean. Reason 3. They're showing you love. When dogs lick you, they're showing affection. It's like their version of a hug, but with more slobber and less personal space. Dogs have been licking each other as a sign of affection for millennia. So, naturally, they've extended that courtesy to their human companions, whether you want it or not. If you've ever noticed your dog licking you more when you're sad, it's because they're trying to comfort you. Unfortunately, their version of comfort is a wet, sticky mess. Dogs are masters of reading human emotions, and when they sense you're stressed, they'll lick you to help soothe your nerves. It's like their version of aromatherapy, but with more germs. Sometimes, dogs just want to be close to you, and licking is their way of making sure you know they're there. They're like a clingy friend who insists on giving you a back rub every 5 minutes. Licking releases endorphins in dogs, which makes them feel good. So, when they lick you, they're not only showing you love, but they're also getting a little hit of happiness themselves. Your dog might also be mimicking behavior they've seen in other dogs or animals. They're just trying to fit in, even if it means covering you in drool. Dogs see licking as a bonding activity, much like how humans bond over sharing meals. Unfortunately, you're the meal, and their table manners are questionable at best. If you've been gone for a while, your dog's licking might be their way of saying they missed you. It's like a slobbery welcome home party, complete with confetti of fur. Lastly, your dog loves you so much that they just can't contain it. Their love overflows in the form of constant licking, and while it might be gross, it's also kind of sweet, if you squint. Reason 4. They're tasting your food through you. Dogs have an incredible sense of smell, and they can detect every crumb you've eaten in the last 24 hours. Licking you is their way of getting a taste without actually stealing your food. If you've ever had a meal and then been immediately licked by your dog, it's because they can still smell the deliciousness on you. You're basically a walking food truck. Your dog might be hoping you'll drop some food if they lick you enough. It's like when you tap a vending machine, hoping for a free snack, but way more persistent. Dogs are opportunistic eaters, and if licking you is the closest they can get to tasting your meal, they'll take it. To them, licking is just another way to enjoy the spoils. If you've been cooking, your dog's licking might be their way of sampling the menu. They're like a really annoying food critic who insists on taste testing every dish. Dogs can smell food particles on your skin that you can't even see. To them, licking you is like finding hidden treasure, and they're determined to uncover every last bit. If you've ever spilled something on yourself and thought you cleaned it all up, think again. Your dog will find that tiny speck of sauce and lick it off with surgical precision. Dogs might also be trying to get a taste of any seasoning or flavoring you've come into contact with. To them, you're a human seasoning shaker, and they're making sure you're evenly coated. If you've ever had a snack and then noticed your dog staring at you like you're made of bacon, it's because they can smell the deliciousness on your breath. Licking you is just their way of sampling the goods. Lastly, your dog might be licking you because they're hoping for a taste of what you had for dinner. It's like they're trying to live vicariously through your taste buds, one lick at a time. Reason 5. They're anxious or stressed. Licking can be a self-soothing behavior for dogs, much like how humans might bite their nails or twirl their hair. Unfortunately, their go-to stress relief involves turning you into a human lollipop. Dogs lick to calm themselves down. So if you notice your dog licking you more during thunderstorms or when the neighbor's cat is outside, it's because they're feeling anxious. Licking releases calming hormones in dogs, so they might lick you as a way to relax themselves. It's like their version of taking a deep breath, except you're the breathing apparatus. If your dog licks you when you're stressed, they might be trying to soothe you as well. Unfortunately, their method of comfort involves a lot of slobber and very little personal space. Dogs also lick to communicate their feelings, so if they're feeling scared or overwhelmed, licking you is their way of saying, "Help, I'm freaking out," in the only way they know how. Licking can become a compulsive behavior in dogs, much like how humans might develop habits like pacing or fidgeting. Unfortunately, their habit involves turning you into a human chew toy. If your dog has separation anxiety, they might lick you excessively when you return home. It's their way of saying, "I missed you so much, I'm never letting you go," even if it means licking you into submission. Licking can also be a sign of insecurity in dogs. They might be trying to get reassurance from you by staying as close as possible, preferably on your face. If your dog's environment is too stimulating or stressful, they might lick you as a way to cope. It's like their version of plugging their ears and singing, "La la la, I can't hear you." Lastly, dogs lick when they're bored or understimulated. If they've got nothing better to do, why not turn you into their personal stress ball? It's a win-win for them, even if it's a bit gross for you. Reason 6. They're trying to get your attention. If your dog wants your attention and you're not giving it, licking is their way of saying, "Hey, I'm here. Pay attention to me." In the most annoying way possible. Dogs know that licking you will get a reaction, whether it's a laugh, a push, or a yelp of surprise. To them, any reaction is better than being ignored. If your dog licks you while you're watching TV or working, it's because they've realized that licking is a surefire way to make you focus on them instead of that boring screen. Dogs might lick you to get you to do something, like take them for a walk or give them a treat. It's their way of saying, "Hey, I know you're busy, but how about a little snack break?" If you're on the phone or talking to someone else, your dog might lick you as a way to remind you that they exist. It's like they're saying, "Remember me? Your best friend? Pay attention to me." Dogs are social creatures, and if they feel like they're not getting enough interaction, they'll lick you to make up for it. It's like their version of sending you a text message, but way more intrusive. If you've been ignoring your dog for too long, they might resort to licking as a last-ditch effort to get your attention. It's their way of saying, "Notice me, human. I'm right here." Licking can also be a way for dogs to show excitement. If they're super happy to see you, they might lick you like crazy to express their joy. It's like a high five, but with more tongue. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to get you to play with them. It's like their version of saying, "Let's go. It's playtime," in the most slobbery way possible. Lastly, your dog might just enjoy the attention they get from licking you. Even if it's not always positive, they know that licking will get them noticed, and that's good enough for them. Reason 7. They're hungry or thirsty. If your dog licks you around mealtime, it's because they're trying to remind you that it's feeding time. It's like their version of banging on the dinner table with a fork. Dogs might also lick you if they're thirsty, hoping that you'll get the hint and fill up their water bowl. It's like their way of saying, "Hey, bartender, another round over here." If you've ever noticed your dog licking you more when you're eating, it's because they're hoping you'll share. They're like that one friend who always asks for just a bite, but really wants half your meal. Dogs have a keen sense of timing, and if you're late with their food, they'll let you know by licking you until you get the message. It's like their version of setting an alarm, but way more annoying. If you're eating something particularly delicious, your dog might lick you in hopes of getting a taste. It's like they're saying, "Hey, I see you've got something good there. How about sharing?" Dogs might also lick you if they're hungry and there's no food in sight. It's like their way of saying, "Hey, human, feed me. I'm starving over here." If you've ever had your dog lick your hands after cooking, it's because they can still smell the food on you. To them, you're like a walking buffet, and they're here to clean up. Dogs might also lick you if they're feeling a little low on energy, hoping you'll give them a treat to perk them up. It's like their version of asking for a coffee break. If your dog licks you first thing in the morning, it's because they're hungry and ready for breakfast. It's like their way of saying, rise and shine. Time to feed me. Lastly, dogs might lick you if they're trying to get you to notice that their food or water bowl is empty. It's like their way of leaving you a passive-aggressive note, but way more slobbery. Reason 8. They're trying to tell you something. Licking can be a form of communication for dogs, and if they're trying to tell you something, they'll use their tongue to get the message across. It's like they're writing you a letter, but with more saliva. Dogs might lick you if they're trying to tell you that something is wrong, like they're feeling sick or uncomfortable. It's their way of saying, hey, I need help, in the only way they know how. If your dog licks you and then leads you to something, they might be trying to show you something important, like an empty food bowl or a toy stuck under the couch. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to alert you to something unusual, like a strange noise or an unfamiliar scent. It's like their way of saying, hey, something's not right here. If your dog licks you when you're about to leave the house, they might be trying to tell you not to go. It's like their way of saying, please don't leave me, in the most guilt-inducing way possible. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to get you to follow them somewhere, like to the door for a walk or to the kitchen for a treat. It's like they're saying, come on, let's go. If your dog licks you after you've been gone for a while, they might be trying to tell you how much they missed you. It's like their way of saying, I'm so glad you're back, with extra slobber. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to get you to pay attention to something specific, like a sound outside or a person at the door. It's like their way of saying, hey, check this out. If your dog licks you when you're upset, they might be trying to comfort you. It's like their way of saying, it's okay, I'm here for you, even if their method of comfort is a bit gross. Lastly, dogs might lick you if they're trying to tell you that they need something, like a potty break or a walk. It's like their way of saying, hey, I need to go out, in the most urgent way possible. Reason 9. They're exploring the world. Dogs explore the world with their mouths, and licking is just another way for them to gather information. It's like they're scientists, and you're their latest experiment. If your dog licks you after you've been somewhere new, it's because they're trying to figure out where you've been. It's like they're saying, tell me everything. I need all the details. Dogs might also lick you if they're curious about something you've touched or eaten. It's like they're trying to get a taste of your latest adventure. If you've ever had your dog lick your clothes or shoes, it's because they're picking up on all the different scents you brought home. It's like their version of reading a travel diary, but with more drool. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to get a sense of your mood or health. It's like they're saying, how are you feeling today? Let me check. If your dog licks you when you're in a new environment, it's because they're trying to make sense of all the new sights and smells. It's like they're saying, this place is weird. Let me investigate. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to figure out what you've been eating. It's like they're saying, I detect a hint of garlic and a touch of chocolate. Interesting. If your dog licks you after you've been around other animals, it's because they're trying to gather information about your new friends. It's like they're saying, who have you been hanging out with? Spill the beans. Dogs might also lick you if they're curious about a new scent or taste on your skin. It's like they're saying, what's this? Let me investigate further. Lastly, dogs might lick you if they're just trying to figure out what makes you tick. It's like they're saying, you're fascinating. Let me learn everything about you. Even if their method of learning is a bit slobbery. Reason 10. They're just being dogs. Sometimes, dogs lick because, well, they're dogs. It's just what they do, and there's no deeper meaning behind it. It's like asking why cats knock things off tables. It's just in their nature. Licking is a natural behavior for dogs, and sometimes they do it just because it feels good. It's like their version of a hobby, but one that involves turning you into a sticky mess. Dogs might also lick you because they're happy and excited, and licking is their way of expressing their joy. It's like they're saying, I'm so happy I could lick you all day. If your dog licks you after playing or exercising, it's because they're still in a playful mood. It's like their way of saying, that was fun. Let's do it again. Dogs might also lick you if they're feeling content and relaxed. It's like their way of saying, life is good, and so are you. If you've ever noticed your dog licking you at random times, it's because they're just following their instincts. It's like they're saying, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it feels right. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to bond with you. It's like their way of saying, we're in this together, buddy. Even if their method of bonding is a bit sticky. If your dog licks you after you've been away, it's because they're excited to have you back. It's like their way of saying, I missed you so much. Let me show you with my tongue. Dogs might also lick you if they're trying to comfort you.